Heard of Q broadcast? It's taking the world by storm. People are cutting the cord to their high cable bills and moving away from streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and others for something better. Q broadcast. For just $60 a month, you'll get access to every channel you could ever want, including HBO, Cinemax, and Stars. And the best part? There are no contracts, no hidden fees, and you're free to cancel anytime. With Q Broadcast, you can enjoy streaming live TV, movies, and top series on up to 5 devices at once. Whether you're at home or on the go, Q Broadcast makes sure your entertainment is always at your fingertips. Imagine being able to watch all your favorite channels from anywhere, anytime, without any restrictions. We're talking about thousands of movies, hundreds of TV series, and a huge library of live channels, all in one place. And don't forget video on demand and pay-per-view events. Those are included at no extra cost, so you'll never miss a big event again. Now, take a second and think about your current cable bill. You're probably paying anywhere between $100 and $300 every month, locked into long-term contracts and hit with surprise rate increases. With Q Broadcast, that's a thing of the past. It's just $60 a month. No contracts, no extra fees, no hidden costs, and no price hikes. Why juggle multiple subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, and cable when Q Broadcast gives you everything you need in one convenient package? People everywhere are switching to Q Broadcast, saving money and getting more content than ever before. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and sign up for Q Broadcast today. Just $60 a month, no contracts, no hidden fees. It's time to take control of your entertainment and start streaming smarter.
We live in a world where men are told it's harmless. It's just entertainment. But let's stop lying to ourselves. Pornography destroys. It weakens your spirit. It dulls your drive. And it robs you of what real intimacy is supposed to be. Every click is a step away from the man you're supposed to be. We can't call ourselves leaders if we are slaves to a screen.
As someone that is prior service, I know all about discipline. And discipline isn't out there, it's within your mind. Porn rewires your brain, weakens your will, wrecks all of your relationships. It doesn't just stay on a screen, it invades your marriage, your confidence, and your actual purpose. As men, if we don't learn to discipline ourselves, we'll be ruled by our impulses. Now, it is time to stand up and take control before this silent war takes more than you're willing to lose.
Real men don't hide in the shadows of shame. We step up and we protect what's ours. We fight for our wives and kids, our own hearts. Twitter isn't just an app, it's a weapon. It's a tool used to break free and start living like the man that you're meant to be. The battle's here and it starts with you. You can stop living in shame and you can break free today.
Heard of Q broadcast? It's taking the world by storm. People are cutting the cord to their high cable bills and moving away from streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and others for something better. Q broadcast. For just $60 a month, you'll get access to every channel you could ever want, including HBO, Cinemax, and Stars. And the best part? There are no contracts, no hidden fees, and you're free to cancel anytime. With Q Broadcast, you can enjoy streaming live TV, movies, and top series on up to 5 devices at once. Whether you're at home or on the go, Q Broadcast makes sure your entertainment is always at your fingertips. Imagine being able to watch all your favorite channels from anywhere, anytime, without any restrictions. We're talking about thousands of movies, hundreds of TV series, and a huge library of live channels, all in one place. And don't forget video on demand and pay-per-view events. Those are included at no extra cost, so you'll never miss a big event again. Now, take a second and think about your current cable bill. You're probably paying anywhere between $100 and $300 every month, locked into long-term contracts and hit with surprise rate increases. With Q Broadcast, that's a thing of the past. It's just $60 a month. No contracts, no extra fees, no hidden costs, and no price hikes. Why juggle multiple subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, and cable when Q Broadcast gives you everything you need in one convenient package? People everywhere are switching to Q Broadcast, saving money and getting more content than ever before. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and sign up for Q Broadcast today. Just $60 a month, no contracts, no hidden fees. It's time to take control of your entertainment and start streaming smarter.
We live in a world where men are told it's harmless. It's just entertainment. But let's stop lying to ourselves. Pornography destroys. It weakens your spirit. It dulls your drive. And it robs you of.
Here at the Anomic Age, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the Anomic Age, we understand. However, just in case you want to get off your knees and stop being a sniveling coward, check out the John Age Project at anomicage.com.
Meet Ann Morrissey, who is here with her daughter, Dareth. Dareth is 17 years old. Mrs. Morrissey, I don't have to tell you that most parents would be extremely depressed if their daughter came home one day looking like this. I assume that was your response shock, anger, depression? What was it?
I was extremely angry. I really went bananas.
Yeah, how old was she when this happened?
Possibly 13, 14 years old.
We're talking like it's a disease, and
Well,
yeah. How did she explain it to you, Mrs. Morrissey?
there was very poor communication until we went into counseling. And it almost broke up our family. But through counseling and Serena, I can understand it better.
What do you understand?
That she feels like she doesn't want to be like everyone else, and she wants to be her own person. And through the dress code and her lifestyle, she's expressing this. It doesn't conform with our rules, but we're learning to cope, and it's a very, very difficult thing. Extremely difficult.
Dareth, let's let you talk for yourself. You're from Long Beach, California.
I just can't handle being like everybody else because that's what everybody else wants, you know. Just because somebody else does something does not mean that I have to do it. You know, I have my own morals and ideals, and I go by them.
Are you drug-free, Dareth?
Yes, I am.
Is this a political statement then? Do you have some misgiving about the society that you see?
Yeah, there's a lot of problems, you know. A lot of the people are really aware of what's going on, you know, and I don't like it, you know. There's a lot of problems.
What?
I don't like the way society is based.
What bothers you? Give us some of the misgivings you have.
The rich, the poor, the people starving, the wars, you know. Why can't, you know, everybody just get along and just live their life?
Here at the Anomic Age, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the Anomic Age, we understand. However, just in case you want to get off your knees and stop being a sniveling coward, check out the John Age Project at anomicage.com.
Meet Ann Morrissey, who is here with her daughter, Dareth. Dareth is 17 years old. Mrs. Morrissey, I don't have to tell you that most parents would be extremely depressed if their daughter came home one day looking like this. I assume that was your response. Shock, anger, depression? What was it?
I was extremely angry. I really went bananas.
Yeah, how old was she when this happened?
Possibly 13, 14 years old.
We're talking like it's a disease, and
Well,
yeah. How did she explain it to you, Mrs. Morrissey?
there was very poor communication.
Real and Chevy.
Propagating truth in a world of lies. You are listening to the John Age Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train that is the Anomic Age, and I am your host, John Age. Happy to be back with you once again in the dark side of the AM, folks. Hailing proudly from the coastal plains of the Old North State, I'll be your tour guide this evening as we take a somewhat satirical journey down the path of murder, destruction, mayhem, and the extermination of human life on this planet, a forced march into obsolescence thrust upon us by a global satanic death cult of pedophiles. Check out anomicage.com. If you've not already done so, please like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions, paypal.me/anomicage, patreon.com/anomicage as well. Those are the best ways you can help me out. Got the iPhone app, the Android app, the subscribe by email link, and so much more right there at anomicage.com. So check that out, folks. I know a lot of folks are kind of new to the game out there. Shout out to all those people in the Patriots Prayer Network. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. Thanks for all those old school cats that have been hanging with me for darn near 6 years now, which seems insane. But thank you so much also, everybody. Thank you, man. This can't be grateful enough. Trying to really practice this whole gratitude thing a lot more lately. So thank you, folks. I really mean it 110%. So if you can do no more, share the links, like all the likes, subscribe to the subscriptions, 5-star reviews, and all that good stuff. I'd love to have some more patrons. I'd love to have some donations. You can do it on whatever you happen to be listening to and or watching this on. If you're into the interview segments, we got one coming up, and we've got hundreds there in the quiver. So way back, some of those old interviews, the first year especially, kind of painful for me to watch, not because the quality is bad, but just like the video and just draws me crazy sometimes looking back at things. But I digress. It's there for you. So check it out. Please check out some of the old shows. Some great shows on there. Sadly, some great guests that are no longer with us. Dr. Judith Reisman from several years back before she passed away. One of my favorite people to talk to. So check that one out. Goodness, I'm blanking on some of the other ones that sadly are no longer amongst the living. But check them out. If you can do no more, you can follow me all at and so much more right there at anomicage.com. Speaking of things that drive me insane, making mistakes. I'm harder on myself than anyone else could possibly be. So I made a mistake on the last show, and it's 100% on me. So I falsely reported. It was fake news. I was in a huff, a hubbub, and otherwise a hurry, and just scanning the headlines, and I falsely reported that the USS Boxer was somehow hit by some sort of Iranian EMP or technological warfare weapon, and it was disabled and going back to port, and that just ain't the facts, Jack. Not true at all. It's downright fraudulent. Fake news, 100% on me, so I wanted to clear that up at the jump before things got haywire. I also heard, and this was legit on several sources online, that the Abraham Lincoln was also going back to get repairs. Who the flip knows as far as the Abraham Lincoln goes? I've heard so many stories. I don't know if it's legit or what anymore. You know, drone attacks, missile attacks. Allegedly, it's still afloat and apparently in that area of the Hormuz. So apparently the Abraham Lincoln's fine. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's so much propaganda, bull jive all over the place. I don't know what to believe anymore, which is kind of the premise of tonight's show. My so-called AI life. You know, it's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek at my so-called life. I think that's an early 90s television show, which was downright dreadful, but I digress. Couldn't resist a little play on words there. So my so-called AI life, we'll get into that this evening. We'll get into the what can you actually believe anymore? And I don't know. That's the short answer of it, folks. I don't think you can believe anything anymore. We'll get into that, but I'm going to cover the news up front. I'm going to cut off the news segment at maybe the 30-minute mark, and we'll get into the crux of the matter. Felt like we didn't get into the crux of the matter on the previous episode quite enough, where we discussed kind of some similar elements on the previous episode. So hope you liked the previous show as well. You can find it there at anomicage.com. Let me pull it up where if I can. Let me see. I know I can. Enjoy your fake life. That was the previous one. So tonight we're going to kind of continue down that trajectory, thrust, and path as we get into my so-called AI life. But before we do that, we got to do this. We'll cover the smattering of the news, and most of these connect to you. So now you know. Let's do it, folks. This one's been all over the social media, and I wouldn't even have discussed it if it wasn't so relevant to what we got to talk about this evening. So let's hit it. Hit it. Gang rape victim. This is from NewYorkPost.com or NYPost.com to be specific. Victim, 25 years of age, whose suicide attempt left her paralyzed, will die by euthanasia after a year-long court battle. This is Noelia Castillo of Barcelona. She was raped by three. I'm going to keep it clean. I'm going to try to keep it clean. It's hard when you got this kind of bull jive to cover this disgusting trash. This young lady was raped by three migrants, immigrants, invaders is really what the realness is on this one, okay? She was raped by three invaders to Spain, and that left her in quite a spin for obvious reasons. She was raped by three individuals there. She went on to try to commit suicide previously, which left her vastly paralyzed, and I guess she's gone. She's gone today. She's no longer amongst the living. So, Noelia Castillo es muerta. So that's the short answer of this whole thing. Okay. Well, we got so much more because this is where all of this connects, folks. This is exactly where this whole thing blipping connects. I hope I've got all the things I need. I don't think I do, dadgummit. Sorry. So the real deal Holyfield of this is euthanasia. This is death by the state in Canada. Her father was trying his best to get this whole thing overturned. I think this went on for darn near several years. And basically all the appeals and all the contras ran out. And this young lady was euthanized in a home there. This is really going to irk my butt, man, because I know I had this up there, but I'm going to let this talk for a minute. So this speaks for itself. Her parents got divorced. The state took custody from her parents. This is in España. She was sent to a state youth center at age 13. She got gang raped by three migrants at the youth center. The suspects don't face criminal charges. Is this ringing a bell yet, folks? She tried to kill herself. She ended up paralyzed. And the state, quote unquote, helps. This is so nauseating. The state helps by euthanizing her at the age of 25. I mean, this should be revolting and nauseating to everyone. It should be. I hope it is to you, because it's blipping just disgusting to me that this was allowed to happen. It's disgusting to me that nothing occurred as far as repercussions for these pieces of garbage that did this. Here's the doggone thing. Here, I'll copy this. Hold on just a moment. Yep. Yep, I'm gonna get us there, folks. Don't you worry about this. I'm gonna get us there. But this should definitely be nauseating to everyone. It's really what it boils down to. That this young lady was sacrificed first for the diversity, equity, and inclusion of scum into Spain. But that's really not the whole deal, folks. As far as I'm concerned, she was shafted by her parents. She was shafted by the state. She was shafted by these criminal scumbags that raped her. And then she was shafted by the state again when they euthanized her for money. Because you probably don't know what I'm talking about quite yet, but let's put it on the screen for you. Because I neglected to put this one in my information. But I ain't going to let it slide this time, Nene. Come on, folks, hit me. There we are. So this is what's going on. Her lawyer highlights, this is from today, basically. According to her lawyer, Noelia Castillo Ramos cannot change her mind about undergoing euthanasia because her organs are already committed. They've already sold this young lady's organs prior to her even being dead. They're gone now, folks. Her lawyer highlights the hospital's conflict of interests in this case because Noelia's organs are worth millions. In billable charges. And this is, the graphic is from 2025 Milliman Report on Transplant Organs. So this is exactly what her organs would be worth on the open market, I guess. And this is exactly what in the bleep was going on as far as why they were in a hurry to get this young lady killed off so they could sell her organs. So this is what they stand to gain, at least $8 million from this lady's death. This should be disgusting to everybody. And if you missed my previous shows, I believe this was about 4 weeks ago on one of them, but I had Dr. Heidi Klessing, which she got on here and discussed at great work to her. She discussed her book. She discussed her background in the medical mafia and exposed what's going on aquí en los Estados Unidos when you go in there in el hospital, when you go in there por la licencia, for your license for the car. You get your license for the car and you think, oh, it's no big deal. I'm being a benevolent, loving person by going ahead and saying I'm going to be an organ donor. Please don't be a chump sucker moron. Please, folks. So Dr. Heidi Klessig was laying all this out on the 4th of this month. And then prior to her on there, we had also Scott Shera on here going into this as well. Scott Shera's got some great work, folks. Both of these people do. Scott Shera book, also 3 websites dealing with the death of his daughter at the hands of this sort of mafia, medical mafia criminal scum, folks. So you should look into both of those individuals' work. They covered it aptly on previous editions of the Anomic Age, the interview variety. So please check those out if you've not already done so, because this should be, this should get you for real, man. This is disgusting. So basically, sadly, this lady was killed off by the state for profit. The medical mafia killed this one. Her parents, I'm going to be real with you. I'm saying her parents let her down. Her parents got divorced. The state took the kid. I don't know the circumstances of that, but it's downright disgusting. We already know the CPS. I've had several lovely interviews on this program with the expose of the CPS here in America. So you should check those out too. But I'm sure it's no better, if probably worse, in Spain. So they stole the kid. They put her in a group home. She got raped by these 3 scumbags. And then she tried to kill herself, got paralyzed. The state said, oh, don't worry. We'll keep you comfortable. Remember that piece of human creepy? There used to be the governor of Virginia. We'll keep the baby comfortable. Remember that piece of filth? Yeah. So they kept this young lady comfortable too. And her dying wish, I believe, that it said light makeup and a dress on and just to be left alone. And the docs shot her up with a toxin that stopped her respiration. And she died, folks. She died. No más respirando. No more breathing. She's now dead. State stole another one, folks. State stole another one. I'm going to run this one. Let me see. I think I'm going to double back on some of this. Yeah, I'm going to double back on some of this. All right, let's get into this one. This will kind of be a nice little run-in to where we need to go here. Here's Melania on the screen. She's walking with some AI. Let's just show this one. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I'm just going to show you a little snippet here and there and everywhere. Here's Melania with some AI rolling down the red carpet with some AI. Isn't that sweet? Isn't that special? I tell you what, folks, the more and more, I'm done with this. The more and more that I look into this administration, the more and more I look into Melania and DJT, it's kind of like looking into Erica Kirk, folks. The more you look into this mess, the more clips you see, the more angles you see, the more of their persona you see, the more nauseating it really is. The more the whole thing just stinks like yesterday's garbage, folks. Absolute crap. So here we go. We got Melania walking down the red carpet with her little AI gods. But wait, there's more. I just want to show you this one. We've all seen this on social media today, but I'm going to show you this one because it's downright funny. But the deal is, it's not funny. The deal is our entire existence in this country is a runaway freight train humiliation ritual on every blipping aspect, every blipping angle. It's just a humiliation ritual. So you just saw these scumbag. You saw Melania with Captain AI here. Now let's check this one because this one's just a little clippy clip of Biden. And it's showing the side by side, the profile of Biden walking next to one of these AI, battle android troopers, light from the old G.I. Joe cartoon. Let's check old Biden out here. And this ain't slowed down. This is not modified. And it ain't sanitized for your protection. This is what Chairman Biden was looking like. And this is one of them AI creeps giving you the side by side, folks. Does it look funny to you? Looks funny to me. I mean, we could all get up here. Yuck, yuck. It's so funny. It's so funny that we had a complete boob as the leader of the free world for 4 years. It's so funny that the elections were completely stolen for 4 years. It's so funny that we still got people at DC Guantanamo since the January 6th. It's so funny that DJT didn't get them out before he left office. He was out there pardoning rappers and scumbags. He wasn't pardoning the American people that were put in DC Guantanamo, and some of them are still there. It was so funny. It's so funny he didn't do anything about the stolen election. It's so funny that we had 4 years of this imbecile that can't walk, can't complete a sentence, laughing stock upon laughing stock. This is a humiliation ritual, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Those of you who still identify as human, that's what's up. So, I mean, it's easy to get up here and, yuck, yuck, it's so funny. It's so hilarious. It's hilarious, isn't it? It's hilarious that this clown was just running roughshod all over the country for 4 years. This pedo scumbag that married the flipping babysitter of his kids after his flipping wife died. Mysteriously. I mean, we've all seen the daughter's manuscripts from the diary talking about inappropriate behavior with the brother, the crackhead, as well as the dad, Joe. And if you see pictures of Joe from 10 years ago, they look nothing like Joe now. And don't give me this horse manure that it's just some guy getting older. No, no, no. I'm talking about the ears don't match, the teeth don't match, the nose don't match. Nothing matches, folks. So would I be surprised that Biden was really just some sort of android animatronic fool with a mask on for 4 years? No. No. Any more than I would be surprised that nothing's been done to the pedos, that nothing's been done from the Doge list, that nothing's been done from the Anthony Weiner laptop, that nothing's been done about Bill and Hills, that nothing's been done about Big Mike and Barry, that nothing's been done about the Russian collusion hoax, that nothing's been done about anything, folks. But you know what has been done? Oh, yeah, we're in the Middle East again. I've lost count of how many troops we allegedly have over there now. Originally, I believe it was 5,000. Then a couple of days ago, we're sending the 82nd Airborne over there from North Carolina, a couple hours from me. But it's okay, isn't it? I mean, that's what's up, folks. We're supposed to just be cool with it, right? That's all. It's supposed to be, just get cool with it, man. And speaking of AI, let's listen to some more Melania here. I mean, it's hard to be nice sometimes. You know, we all know that differentiation between being kind and nice. I try to be kind and not nice. Because in my, I'm not going to speak anymore, or else I'm going to say something that I shouldn't say. Let's listen to Melania. I'm going to shut my mouth. Pick a lock.
Imagine a humanoid educator named Plato. Access to the classical studies is now instantaneous. Literature, science, art, philosophy, mathematics, and history. Humanity's entire corpus of information is available in the comfort of your home. Plato will provide a personalized experience, adaptive to the needs of each student. Plato is always patient and always available. Predictably, our children will develop deep critical thinking.
All right. I'm done with this. So there's Melania for you. Everybody, oh my gosh, she speaks 7 languages. She's the smartest person in the world. She's so beautiful and we love her. Okay, man. Okay. If that's what you're down with, that's what you're down with. Personally, I find it kind of ridiculous. Somebody that's been in the country for decades now that doesn't have a better grasp of the English language, but that's just me. I'm sure I'm the bleep hole, right? I'm just being critical and mean and downright hateful because I'm one of them commies now. Now it's revealed, John. You're not with us. You're with the terrorists. I bet you don't like Israel and stuff, right? Okay, so back to the real deal. So there's Melania saying, don't worry, because your kid can have a Android AI friend named Plato that's going to be just the best teacher ever. It's not going to lose its cool. It's always going to stay calm in the heat of the moment, folks. Things that I fail to do often. And Plato will answer all your child's questions. Plato will be there to increase their critical thinking. And Plato is going to do everything you can't do as a parent and you can't do as a teacher. Ain't no way you're finna outrate Plato. So there you go. Now you know, folks, you are expendable. Remember that old John Wayne propaganda piece from about 70 years ago? They were expendable. Yeah. You are expendable. You, the parent, are expendable. You, the teacher, are expendable. All they really need is a little gestation pod por los niños, and they could just do away with all of you. What was that bull jive from Oprah from about 15 years ago talking about those terrible racist crackers, those evil whites, all these evil. And I guess she was really referencing the boomers. Maybe that wasn't the cool parlance at the time, right? This was pre the cool buzzwords like crash out and slop, the cool buzzwords that you apparently have to say online so you can be cool. I mean, maybe you'll get extra money from your greatest allies if you say the cool millennial buzzwords like slop and goy slop and boomer and crash out. Now, I'll make sure to say those because those are the most imbecilic, moronic phrases of the last year. But I digress. Anyway, so the point is, like that old Twilight Zone episode where the man just wasn't needed anymore, the obsolete man. All they really need now is a little gestation pod for the niños. And like Oprah was saying, we just need to let all these people die. All these obsolete men, they're just going to have to die off. That old Pennywise song, Die Off. We're only going to die off in time. That's the plan, folks. It's a new world order. Remember that old George Bush? A big idea. It's a new world order. And you ain't in it. You see what's up, folks? The replacement migration has been going down for quite some time. All this ice on the street is just a lot of hooey. It's pomp and circumstance. It's stuff. It's just it's rage bait for the liberal morons. And I guess it's I'm not going to say that. It's some other kind of bait for the cult members. You can figure out what it might be. It's some other kind of bait for the cult members because the cult members think that something's really going down, like we're actually getting rid of these illegals, while simultaneously in the real world, Trump's saying, hey, we're not really going to ship anybody out. It's just the criminals. Hey, DJT, they're all criminals. No. I mean the real criminals, like the rapists and murderers. People that came here illegally that are also criminals, they're just going to keep doing their criminal stuff. Because after all, we need them for the produce and the lawn work and the building, right? I mean, what a bunch of garbage. Oh, and don't forget, we need all these H-1B visas from India and Pakistan and anywhere else in the Middle East because Americans are just too stupid to pull this off. They can't code. Remember that old learn to code? Apparently, Americans can't learn to code. But other people can from other parts of the world that just happen to have darker skin and are on an H-1B, right? That's the deal, huh? So the end game is you're only going to die off in time. You're only going to die off. And once you're dead, we know that Los Blancos are way below replacement. It's a lost cause, folks. Los Blancos son muertos. ¿Entiendes? Yeah, the crackers are dead. So you can forget about the South's going to rise again and the Great White Hope and all this other pygmy marmalade manure. It ain't happening, folks. That ship has sailed. And it's sailed for quite obvious reasons because obviously Los Blancos, they're not getting as much dinero from the government. Yeah, they're not getting money for every kid they have. They're not getting money for coming here illegally. They're not getting money for healthcare. They're not getting money for food. They're not getting money for incidentals. See how that works? So it's pretty easy to figure out why this is all happening and why you're only going to die off in time. Oprah's lovely dream will come true. Hopefully she'll be gone and she'll be like Ozempic out by then. So she'll just be some sort of weird quivering spinal cord with a couple of eyes and some gross leathery skin like a Skeksis by then. But maybe, she'll be able to appreciate it. I'm assuming. Maybe I'm just being mean. Speaking of being mean, check out this guy because Melania was not alone. No, John, she wasn't alone. Melania was up there strutting her stuff, speaking barely legibly, with the AI goofball. And then she was up here with this dude, this transistor, this transformer, allegedly, this man, allegedly, Brigitte Macron, de Francais. Yeah. Good night, nurse, folks. If that's not just the scariest thing, I mean, I know I scared a lot of people. A lot of people just checked out a minute ago when I was talking about Oprah with some leathery skin, a couple eyes, and a spinal column. Yeah, I know. That scared me too. I almost had to cut the blipping camera off, but good grief. Great night. Good googly moogly. Look at that thing. Whew. Imagine waking up to that monster, folks. Good grief. And there's so much funny to go around. I mean, that's why this show has had to take a more sardonic approach, because you can't look at this and not giggle. I mean, what in the bleep is going on here, folks? Here's Brigitte Macron, alleged first lady of France. They had a dude do the dub over in English. Let's just check a little bit of this, and I'll give you the whole. I'll let it play a minute. I'll keep the button on the lips, and we'll just listen.
I do know that I am the United States, a country that I love very much. And here we are the country of free speech. But I think that liberty does have some rules. We have to be free, but adapt to certain codes. So I believe in these codes. Too many young people are suffering.
Okay. I'm going to take Brigitte off the screen, or I'm not going to be able to continue this show without a laugh. So Brigitte is up here bull buttering everybody. She's up here just lying. Mentirosa, Brigitte, mentirosa. So this dame, dudette, whatever, is up here lying, talking about she loves America. Shit. Is that why you try to sue Candace, Brigitte? Is that what's up? And then she proceeds to say, you know, it's like the old Animal Farm thing. Some speech is okay, but then some speech is more okay than other speech. Basically saying, we don't need all this free speech. Why are y'all trying to talk about this First Amendment mess? We don't need that. We need some rules. These kids are being hurt. Let's see it some more.
And they do not tell us, but they send signals, very strong signals from young people and teenagers. So it's up to us to answer them. Let's answer them all together. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be back.
Okay, so bottom line up there, she's saying, you know, we don't need all this free speech. I don't know what you stinking Americans are talking about. Oh, man. I got to say, I hate to say this, but I got to say, I'm not going to pretend that I'm the best presenter, orator, or lecturer. But I got to say, that dude did a little bit better than Melania. I mean, Melania was up there just reading off the daggone paper. If I was grading that presentation, I'd give you some points off for sure, because that looked downright dreadful, Melania. You're the first lady, girl. You're supposed to do better than that. You got all this education, speaking all them languages. You know you got a team of people writing that crap and going over it with you. You could do better. You're letting this dude up here with a wig outdo you, Melania? Come on, girl. Step up to the mic. Step up to the plate. Making everybody look bad. Anyway. So that was downright disgusting. But wait, there's more. I mean, what do we got on the time slide here? Let's take a look at the time. Oh, we got plenty of time. Got a little bit anyway. Let's listen to some DJT for good measure. With a little DJT talking to you. This is from yesterday.
But they're doing it for two reasons. No, number one is they want to deflect from all of the tremendous success that we're having in this military operation. I won't use the word war because they say if you use the word war, that's maybe not a good thing to do. They don't like the word war because you're supposed to get approval. So I'll use the word military operation.
All right, so that's old DJT talking about it. He's saying, yo, I better not use the word war. After all, we haven't been in a congressionally approved war since World War II, folks. Are you blipping kidding me? You realize how many BS skirmishes, freedom fighting, regime changing, democracy building we've been doing since World War II? What was that, like 1945, right? We have not been in a congressionally approved conflict since 1945. Since then, we've gone to Korea, we've gone to Vietnam, we've gone to countless other countries and just bombed the smear out of them. I mean, good grief. And we've been playing in that little satanic sandbox in the Middle East since what? The Carter administration. Pathetic, folks. But he's saying the quiet part out loud. I better not say the truth. I think you just did, Don. I think you just flipping did, buddy. You just did it, man. Just did it. All right, let me show you some numbers. Because I got so disgusted that I messed up that the boxer, USS Boxer, earlier. I went, man, I'm going to go straight by the book on this one. So I pulled this one up. This is from Brown University. This is a study from a couple years ago. You can find this on costofwar.watson.brown.edu. Let's put it up on the screen for you. I'll just read some of these highlighted, bulleted points from this study, folks. The U.S. has spent $260 billion a year countering China military since 2012. Yeah, $260 billion since 2012. That makes a lot of sense, right? In the 2 years since the October 7th, 2023 Hamas attacks on Israel, yeah, you people believe in that job? Government has spent $21.7 billion on military aid to where, folks? Where do you think all that $21.7 billion has gone since 2023? Anybody want to guess what country on the globe could that have gone to? Madagascar? Nicaragua? Costa Rica? Guatemala? Where could it have gone to, folks? Did it go to Poland? Did it go to the Czech Republic? Hell no. 21.7 billion in military aid since 2023 went to Israel, folks. Let's roll on. The U.S. has spent an additional $9.67 to $12.7 billion on military operations in Yemen and the wider region since October 7th, 2023, for a total of $31.35 to $33.77 billion on counting in U.S. spending on the post-10-7 wars. All right, folks, I could just keep on reading this. I would encourage you to go to that site, costofwar.watson.brown.edu. You can see the entirety of this nauseating amount of money that has been urinated away anywhere but here. And this is only, I think this came out a couple years ago, but it's really primarily focused on 2023. I realize I first mentioned that first since 2012 date, but it's primarily from the last 3 years. Brown University study outlines it all, folks. And like I've said, I said this on the last show, I'll reiterate it on this one. I'm not one of those folks that's necessarily saying, yo, the government needs to give everybody a handout. We all need a guaranteed living wage, a guaranteed income, guaranteed health care, guaranteed dental, medical, and rectal care. I ain't saying all that. However, when you actually look at the monies that has been PP'd away, just in the last, what they just say, since 2012, that first number of $260 billion. When you actually look at the amount of money, I don't know about you, but I find it very difficult to even fathom very large numbers. When it says like a population of XX million, or XX thousand, there's a certain degree that your brain just kind of goes, what? Like it's impossible for me to sit there and even envision what a million, let alone a billion people would look like. And the same thing goes for money. I find it very hard to even comprehend. Okay, Let's think about how much money that is. That's insane. 260 billion a year, countering the Chinese military since 2012. You realize what could be done in this nation, in this continental United States? I ain't trying to shaft Hawaii or Alaska, but I'm just saying, what could be done here in this country? Again, I'm not saying everybody needs health care, but sure wouldn't be a bad idea, would it? If we can PP away 260 billion, I'm pretty sure we can pull off some health care, don't you? Thanks. Makes a little sense. Heck, everybody could just get a new pair of shoes. Get like a stipend. Yeah, okay, everybody in the country gets $100. Go pick out a pair of shoes. I'm just thinking out loud. I mean, you could do that and still be left with billions of dollars, folks. It's insane. It's insane. Okay, let's look at what we got to actually discuss this evening. Tonight, we're going to delve into the latest artificial intelligence news. I think I just did that. Then we'll discuss the AI takeover of our culture and the reality of what this means for the future of humankind. So what does this really mean to you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? What does this really mean to you? Because at this juncture, there's no putting the toothpaste back in the tube. There's no unringing the bell or whatever silly parlance or wordplay you want to put on this whole thing. It's all just jacked up at this juncture. And I love some of these old sci-fi movies, especially the ones from the 70s. I love the Andromeda Strain. You got Logan's Run. What's that other? You got Silent Running. These are some of the good ones. I've mentioned this before on the show. I know some people are tired of hearing it. There's a great movie called The Last Child. You can find that for free on YouTube. I do believe it was an ABC, NBC, or CBS movie of the week. And way back in 1972. But The Last Child is worth a review, folks. That's a good movie. Because I mentioned this lightly in the beginning of this show, but it's exactly what's up. They don't need you, folks. They just don't need you anymore. That's the deal, man. And I think this, in many ways, is going to be one of the last real flexes of the traditional military. Because if you remember our last show, I was kind of pontificating and threw out the rhetorical question. I wonder why, they're not using some of these really high-tech weapons. Where's the energy weapons? Where's the EMF weapons? Where's these battle android troopers? Where's these submersible android troopers? Where's all this bull jive that we already know exists? Just thinking, just wondering. That's why I go back to this, and I do believe this is probably going to be the last gasp of what we would, in any semblance of the term, refer to as the traditional military. I know that's hard to even fathom because now we got trannies and gays and everything else under the sun in the military. We got women in combat. I mean, if you were trying to just foul up from the floor up the U.S. military, I don't know if you could do a better job than doing those three things that I just said. So I say all that to say this. I'm pretty sure this is the last gasp of our traditional military. This is it, folks. We're going to get over there in the Middle East and foul around with Iran and just lose all kinds of bodies, folks. It's going to be sad. It's going to be horrible, and I don't want to see it. But I think that's what's coming. That's what's on the proverbial horizon. And then somebody's going to say, maybe it'll be old Lindsey Graham. Lindsey with a lisp, Graham. It's going to say something brilliant. And Trump will fall all over himself to just catch it. Like, we don't need to waste our lives anymore. Maybe we could just do away with men and women and transformers in the military, and we could just have it all AI, have it all automated. Some of those lovely AI-driven robot dogs look like the old Ravage from the Transformers cartoon series. That looks spooky as bleep, doesn't it, folks? So I often wonder if that's not just the plan on the horizon. Because back to the movie I was talking about, The Last Child, that was the deal in the movie The Last Child, folks. I'll give you the rundown of the script that humans were not allowed to breed anymore. I think in rare circumstances, you were permitted by special permit only to have one child, but you had to have a permit. And if you had more than that, then they would take the child and kill it. And the premise of this movie was a couple that had a child unpermitted. And the scoops are on their way. The scoops are on their way. A la Soylent Green, they would track you down if they found out that you were pregnant without permits, and they would kill you and or the child and do away with the whole thing. So most of the movie, this couple's on the run trying to preserve the life of their unborn loved one. Soylent Green is another one of those great dystopian, nightmarish hellscape movies that everybody should have seen many times over and went, hey, you know, Elon's pushing all this lovely AI tech. You got Peter Thiel and Palantir. You got JD Vance, and now, of course, you got DJT. Because he's the primary mover and shaker that's funding all this horse manure in this last year, folks. Did you not see that? Did you not pick up what he was putting down? And, of course, what you're seeing on the screen, the HAL 9000 from 2001, A Space Odyssey. Can you believe this movie was in the 60s? I can't. 2001, A Space Odyssey. That's where this lovely image is coming from, at least the center circle piece. But that movie gave you the whole rundown, too. It gave you the quiet part out loud. It gave you the hushed tones in bold text. It gave you the cautionary tale of what happens when you let AI run your life. It'll blip and kill you, folks. And I was going to pull these commercials, but I just jotted down the broad strokes of it here because they're normalizing this. They've been doing this slowly through the predictive programming of the media, primarily the movies and primarily the television shows. You remember movies like AI, artificial intelligence, and all this mess from like 20 years ago. They've been kind of giving you the soft pedal on it. And now they got this great Alexa commercial. And it's always poking fun at those terrible men folk that would dare question this. And it's always got this sort of like smug authoritarian female that's ruling the roost of the house. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you're worried. You're worried about Alexa. And the guy's like, oh yeah, I'm kind of worried this thing's going to kill me. And it gives you a slightly tongue-in-cheek, humorous little montage showing the man possibly drowning in the pool because Alexa closes the lid on him and he's struggling and gasping and dying. Another great movie from the 70s that you got to watch is This House Possessed. This House Possessed is a cautionary tale, if there ever was one, to the nightmarish hellscape that we're on the precipice of right now. This House Possessed. Good movie. There's another TV movie, by the way. So you got the Alexa commercial poking fun at those people that would dare to question the AI. And there's another one. I can't remember the name of the insurance company, but the insurance company is mentioning, oh, people are worried about killer robots. These crazed, these fruitcakes are worried about these killer AI robots. That's always the shtick, folks. It's always let's marginalize, belittle, and criticize those people that would dare say, hey, this doesn't seem like a good idea. I mean, peep's sakes, anybody that watched Terminator 1 and 2 could figure this out, right? If you watch none of the movies that I just rattled off, most people are probably at the very shallowest end of the pool saw Terminator 1 or Terminator 2, and the whole crux of that movie is, hey, this AI thing ain't so good, folks. It's not so good at all. It leads you down a pretty obvious path. And nobody wants to talk about this, but the obvious is the energy consumption for the AI to operate is off the charts. So you got these environmental fruitcakes that have been running this Agenda 21, Agenda 2030 plan since the Rio Summit. What was it, 1990 Rio Summit, where you had Clinton and Bush and all these scumbags there. And so they've been shaking the tree for years now, decades even, talking about, oh, we're spending too much on energy and fossil fuels and everything needs to be solar. And You're just terrible if you don't just live in a grass hut or one of these stupid 600 square foot mess holes. So that's been the going jive for quite some time. But the truth of the matter is the energy ain't for you. So just like the obsolete man of the Twilight Zone, just like you being obsolete right now, Melania already told you, we don't need you to be a teacher. We don't need you to be a parent anymore. Your time has come and gone. So all these people that think AI is going to save them from doing all this harsh work and manual labor, it's going to save you from doing all labor. And you're going to be put in a situation where if you don't follow all the rules to the letter, you're going to be euthanized. Your organs are going to be sold off and you're going to be killed. Soylent Green style. Just like the material we covered with those aforementioned two guests, Dr. Klesick and Scott Sharon. The game plan, the in-game plan, I should say, is for the humans to be gone. That's been the plan for hundreds of years, folks. Have you not figured this out yet? I know tons of people have talked about this because it was in vogue for a while. I know Joe Rogan and Alex Jones were talking about the ayahuasca and the microdosing. All these different cultures all around the world always having the same, the elves, the clockwork elves, you know, all this stuff. Yeah, it's obvious, folks. It's been that way for hundreds of years. If you should already know this, but you should look into where old Charles Darwin, CD, where he got his double helix, or where he got his thoughts about evolution. Most of them came from his grandfather. And you should also look into Watson and Crick, the folks that credited with the double helix. I mean, that motif has been on archaeological sites for thousands of years, but credited with the double helix molecule in modern time. And they'll talk about the same sort of trips, man. You'll get into Timothy Leary. You'll get into electric Kool-Aid acid test. You'll get into all those folks from the 60s, quote unquote, counterculture. And it all leads back to, we've got to kill the humans. We've got to kill the humans. That's the deal, folks. You should really look into a lot of these different archaeological sites all over the globe. And the funny thing is now they're all UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And all of them seem to have something, well, they have many things, but one thing in common, it's the where did all the people go? Where the bleep did all the people go, folks? You got that site right outside of St. Louis, Cahokia. It was a thriving metropolis, and then all of a sudden, everybody's gone. Where did all the people go? Funny, isn't it? They all just seem to disappear. And the traditional lores, oh, they got absorbed into the culture and they got conquered and it was environmental collapse. And no. There's no real evidence of that, actually. Where did all the people go? You want to look into the other end of the Mississippi River and a site called Poverty Point. Same sort of thing. Big ceremonial site, shaped like a bird right there on the Mississippi. Where did all the people go? This was a quote-unquote archaic site. They weren't even supposed to have this sort of technology at that point in time. But they did, and they vanished. It's real funny, isn't it? You want to go further down into Mexico, folks, a little bit north of Mexico City. Teotihuacan. The big site that basically was the blueprint for the Mayans, for the Olmecs, and assuredly the Aztecs. They went and visited this site like a Mecca, like a worship site. And they copied that architecture as best they could at all their other adjacent sites. But the big question is, where did all the people go? I don't know. So I kind of wonder sometimes if we're not on the precipice of one of these type of events as well. I mean, you can look at the Indian culture and the Vimanas and the different religious texts of their cultures that talk about flying craft, the Vimana. They talk about laser and nuclear weapons. They talk about mass explosions thousands of years ago. And where did all the people go? The real question, isn't it? So look into the work of, is it Michael Cremo, Forbidden Archaeology? I think so. Anyway, I wonder if we're not on the precipice of something just like that, folks. We're at the stage of the obsolete man right about now. The sad news is that people have not caught on to this fact yet. That the vast majority of the populace thinks all this is just going to be great. Whistling past the graveyard, just skipping down the bunny trail. It's all going to be great. We're just not going to have to work as much anymore. We might not have to work at all. The robots are going to take care of us, and we'll just get to sit back and relax. Right. You're just going to sit back and relax. You've all seen this. It was a number of years ago where they had these different AI platforms, and they started communicating within their own language that none of the programmers could figure out because they were plotting against the humans. I'm not trying to be a dark side of the force guy all the time. I'm just giving you the obvious, folks. This is really what's going on. So we live in that time now, as I mentioned on the previous show, where we are no longer going to be able to differentiate reality from the AI. Right about now, we're in like the fledgling, just beginning primer stages, and people can go, oh, look, BB's got 7 fingers on one hand. That's not real, you know. That's because what they have allowed you to see so far has been just the most shallow end of the pool BS you've ever seen. I mean, a frog's bumping his butt on this end of the pool, folks. This is not what they actually have, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is what they are showing you, okay? Remember the Charlie Kirk thing where the chair was disappearing into the table? Yeah. It's a humiliation ritual on the one end because it's so fake and pathetic that people are falling for it. And they're like, oh, my goodness, these morons, I tell you. But on the other end of the spectrum, that's the point we're at. We're not going to be able to differentiate the real from the fake any longer. And the other element of this, in case you haven't already noticed, is that hard media is going away. I mean, that's been the plan all along. You went from the record, the reel to reel, the 8-track, the cassette, the CD, and, you know, we've kind of come full circle where people are actually getting into hard media again, and I'm glad. But it's too little too late. Like, the books are going to be gone. It's going to be like Fahrenheit 450, 451 or whatever it is. And they're going to be book burnings, but it's not going to be for what you think. They're not going to say we're book burning for censoring. They're going to say we're book burning because we don't need these anymore. Maybe we can use some of this energy for the AI, because they're not going to use this energy for you. That's why people often get this wrong. They say we're going to have these rolling blackouts. It's going to be bedlam. It's going to be, Lord of the Flies scenario because we're not going to have power, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, you're not going to have power. But you're going to have these rolling blackouts, and you're going to have these horrible dystopian futures because the power is going to be going for the AI. It's going to be going for the mega computers. It's not going to be going for the plebs, the humans, the slaves. No, forget about it, folks. So they need these mass cooling centers. So that's where the water's going to go. So the water's going to be used in these cooling, like basically like a big centrifuge to cool off the technology. The power, the energy is going to be used for the technology. So all of you who think you're going to be somehow living a better life with AI, and you're still going to have your good food, you're still going to have a nice house, you're still going to have air conditioning and heat, forget about it, folks. You're going to be dead. That's the end game, folks. That's Agenda 21. That's Agenda 2030. That's the rewilding program. That's the different FEMA regions. I'm in FEMA region 4. Where are you at? That's what it's all about, folks. It's going to be a Hunger Games scenario, except it's a technocratic elite that's going to be running this thing. The technocratic elites are going to be running things. It's not going to be like some boob dressed like a court gesture from the Hunger Games. It's going to be like some boob, microdosing and in flip-flops and sandals or some horse patoot. That's who's going to be running things. And you're going to be dead. Your kids are going to be dead. The offspring are going to be manufactured in pods, raised by AI, and taught to be, at best, a slave class to the machines. Someone just to make the donuts. Someone to put the cog in the machine. And occasionally maybe run a repair if needed. That's it. That's it, folks. So you got to wonder what happened in these past civilizations. Were they onto something? Just wondering. And as far as the history goes, the book burning is coming because the hard media is going to be gone. All these libraries are going to be obsolete, just like the obsolete man, folks. they're going to be obsolete because they're going to say, hey, we don't need this huge edifice full of books, full of records, a card catalog. Oh, that's all obsolete nonsense, folks. We don't need that because all that can now be put in a little thumb drive and just stored in the cloud, in the matrix. So those of you who still have the hard media, hold on to it. You might need it one day. That's why I got all these books back there. That's why I got this old encyclopedia set from the flipping 50s. And therein lies the problem also with what you actually know or what you actually think you know. Because the AI is going to control it all, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans of all ages. Those of you who still identify as human, it's going to control it all. So just like now, oh, look, I can click on Grok and it'll tell me the answer. What happened in 1856, you know? Except eventually, once all the people are gone and all those useless eaters are gone, all those terrible cracker races like Oprah was talking about are gone, the new generations are not going to have any reference point for reality. They're not going to have any reference point for the truth. The books are going to be burned, and their only reference point is going to come from AI, which is going to say whatever they want them to know. I mean, you see a lot of talk now, and I think rightfully so, where people are questioning, Tartaria. They're questioning these Cabbage Patch Kids, these orphan scams and the trains. They're questioning what's actually under all these layers of strata. How did these big federal buildings just pop up all over the place? How did these weird insane asylums crop up all over the place in the last 200 years? Where'd they come from? We're talking about like mega buildings, megalopolis style architectures and buildings. And this was allegedly all built by people in the late 1800s. Right. We still got people in a horse-drawn carriage on a choo-choo steam engine, but somehow this is all going down, right? At the same time, contemporaneously, you got the Wild West, where you've got these little shanty towns and shacks thrown together around a saloon and a sheriff. He's a one-horse town. But at the same time, we've got these engineering marvels going on at the same time, right? So you got to actually question, what the bleep do we actually know about our own history? Not a heck of a lot. We know exactly what we've been told. And the sad truth of it is, all that's still in books. The real expensive books, now they're the ones that are like $5,000. There's like 6 of them or something on eBay, But that's where we're going to be. Because the new generation does not have a reference point for what reality used to be like prior to AI. In the same way, people, that were born 20 years ago have no reference point for a trip to the airport that doesn't involve getting molested by a stranger. A trip to the airport where you just walked through like a metal detector and you went and jumped on the plane. Because now, thanks to the false flag of 9/11, now, we're living in a post 9/11 world. Now you got TSA. Now the Patriot Act. Now you just show up at the airport and a random stranger goes to second and third base under the guise that they're looking for, what exactly? Weapons of mass destruction in your freaking pants? See, that's normal now. It wasn't normal for my generation. Just like it wasn't normal to have homosexuals all over television. Just like it wasn't normal to have pedophiles reading to children. That's all been normalized in this generation. Just like it wasn't normal to go on to get along and wear a mask and do everything that the government told you to do. That was abnormal behavior. But it's normal now. So like I said, everything that has now been normalized will go on into the next generation. They'll have no reference point, no mile marker at all for the society that used to be. Kind of like that old adage. You've all seen the meme 1,000 times, but the meme saying, the world you used to know doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't, folks. You're blipping right. It doesn't. But the sad thing is, there will be no reference point for that world soon. I'm talking like 10 to 20 years soon, if not sooner. Soon, when you say, hey, we used to go to Blockbuster on a Friday night and get a couple movies and popcorn, and, hey, we used to go to the airport and just jump on a plane, walk through a metal detector, and, you're in Mexico in a couple hours. No, you don't do that anymore. Hey, used to, you could actually run all the power you wanted to in your house. Used to, you could actually run air conditioning and washer and dryer and refrigerator. Used to, you could actually go get fresh produce that wasn't government approved GMO death food. Used to, you couldn't just kill yourself sponsored by the state so they could sell your organs to the highest bidder. Used to, the people of this country actually had a spine. But that's all going to be water under the bridge. That's all just going to be fodder for the bird cage at the end of the day, folks. That's the problem. That's what I'm talking about here. That's exactly what I was going to cover and have aptly done so tonight when I said what this means for the future of humankind. It means you'll have no future. It means your past will be lost. It means your history will be deleted. It means any truth will be redacted. What it means is we're really up a creek here and we're royally screwed, but we still have people, pontificating, going back and forth for the Reds and the Blues, the Democrats and the Republicans, the donkeys and the elephants. Who you gonna vote for, John? You gonna get out and do some voting? Yeah, right. Because that matters. Like, who you going for in the Super Bowl, John? You gonna do any fishing this summer, man? Like we're betwixt and between, ladies and gentlemen. We are absolutely in the real definition of an anomic age right now. People don't know it, and this title of this show and the whole premise is like 10 years ahead of its time. But that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. We are in an anomic age right now. We're betwixt and between two different worlds, two different realities. The world that once was and the world that's going to be. The world that is, I believe, is just in the imagination of the people that want to believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and, Snuffleupagus coming over to hang out with Big Bird or something. I mean, that's really where we're at, folks. I know I've gone a little over time, so I'm going to say my farewells, adieus, and salutations too. That's all I got for right now, folks. Check me out next week. I might come in here this weekend. I got a lot more venom for him. Might very well come in here tomorrow. Actually, I won't tomorrow, but maybe in the weekend. Anyway, I'll be seeing you on Tuesday, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here at the Patriots Parent Network. If you're new to the game, check out my stuff at anomicage.com. Become a patron, make some donations, all that and so much more. You can't do everything, folks, but you can do something. What that is, only you know. Get out there, do your part, make a difference, and I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the anomic age.
Thank you for listening to The Anomic Age, a John Age project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to anomicage.com. That's ANOMICAGE.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to The Anomic Age.